Good morning everyone. This is the second video of this week and today we will continue with chapter number 9. But before starting the video, before starting the class, I would like to say something. My dear, the videos which we are making, we are working very hard for that. So I hope that you all will watch the video. So please watch the video. These videos are very helpful for you. For you only we are just working so hard so that we can teach you something. Okay, so before the online classes, please watch these videos. It will help you, and wherever you will get any confusion, you can ask in these the online classes. So now let us start, and I hope you all will watch the video. We will continue with chapter number 9, that is our forest and wildlife. In previous class we had started this chapter, and about this chapter I had explained you that what is forest, what is the importance of forest, how many types of forests are found in India, where these forests are found. About all these things I had explained you. About wildlife also I had explained you. Today I will explain you about the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, in which state these national parks are located. I will explain you that also. After that I will explain you about Chipko movement, and after that we will discuss objectives and question answer along with thoughts. So let us start. National parks and states. National parks, and these national parks are located in which state we will discuss. These are the important, many national parks are over there to save the animals and birds. Our government has set up many national parks. Some of these are the important national parks of our country. Clear? Let us know about these all national parks. First one is Corbett National Park. It is in Uttarakhand. Second one is Nachingam National Park. It is in Jammu and Kashmir. Third one is Dudhwa National Park. It is in Uttar Pradesh. Ranthambore National Park. It is in Rajasthan. Gir National Park. Gir is in Gujarat. Hazaribagh National Park. It is in Jharkhand. Okay. Then Kanha National Park. Kanha National Park is in Madhya Pradesh. Kaziranga National Park and Manas National Park. These two national parks are in Assam. And last one, Periyar National Park. It is in Kerala. These are the important national parks of our country. Okay. Now let me show you through the map that where these national parks are located. Let's see. Have a look. First one is Corbett National Park. And where Corbett National Park is? Corbett National Park is in Uttarakhand. Here you can see Uttarakhand. Okay, this one is Corbett National Park. This triangular shape is showing the national parks. Okay, let me set the color. Here you can see these triangular shapes are showing the national parks. Corbett is in Uttarakhand. Just below Uttarakhand here is Uttar Pradesh. Dudhwa National Park. Okay. Then Nachingam National Park, it is in Jammu and Kashmir. Here you can see. Next one is Ranthambore. Ranthambore is in Rajasthan. Here you can see it's written Ranthambore National Park. Next is asking Gir. Gir is in Gujarat. This one is Gujarat part. Hazaribagh National Park. It is in Jharkhand, just below Bihar. Here it is. Clear? After that, Kanha National Park. Kanha is in Madhya Pradesh. Here you can see. This one is the Madhya Pradesh. Kanha National Park. Here it is. Then after Kaziranga National Park and Manas National Park. These two national parks are in Assam. And last one is Periyar National Park. It is in Kerala. So these are the national parks of our country. These are the important national parks of our country. Clear? Now let's move to the next topic. And do you know one thing about King Ashok? King Ashok was the first Indian king to ban the killing of peacocks. Okay, he was the first king. Peacock is our national bird, and he was the first king to ban the killing of peacocks. Now we will move to the next topic, that is Chipko movement. Chipko movement, it was a movement started by the villagers of Uttarakhand in 1974. Okay, to prevented the tree cutters from cutting down the trees. Okay, to prevent the trees from the tree cutters, what they do, they just stick with the trees. Okay, the villagers stick with the trees to prevent the trees. Here you can see Chipko movement was started in 1973. Okay, in Uttar Pradesh, in an effort to save the trees and forest from filling by the forest contractors. Okay. Chipko literally means what? To stick. And people started sticking to trees when it was being cut. Chipko movement later inspired Apiko movement in Karnataka. Okay, and in your book it's given about Chipko movement that in 1974 the villagers, a group of villagers in Uttarakhand. Okay, earlier it was part of Uttar Pradesh, that's why it's written there Uttar Pradesh. Okay, in Uttarakhand, prevented tree cutter from cutting down the trees. Okay, and cutting down the trees of forest by putting their arms around the trees. How they prevented the tree cutters? By cutting down the trees, they just hold the trees with their arms. This unique method of saving trees took the shape of big movement, and that movement was known as Chipko movement. Okay, and this movement was spreaded later on all over the Uttarakhand, and this movement was led by Sundarlal Bahuguna. Clear? And this movement was started on 1973 or 74, but before hundreds of years, means on 1730 only, when there was a rule of kings in our country, at that time only, in the state of Rajasthan, Bishnoi, people of Bishnoi community is that they are known for their great efforts for preventing the forests and wildlife. Okay, at that time Maharaja of Jodhpur ordered his men to cut the trees. Okay, cut the khezri trees. Okay, the king of Jodhpur just instructed his men to cut the khezri trees. At that time, Amrita Devi, a lady of Bishnoi community, she just hugged the tree, and she just led her life. She laid down her life for saving the trees. And not only she, many people of about 84 other villages laid down their lives to save the trees. And later, the king, the Maharaja, issued a law of banning cutting down of trees in Bishnoi villages. So this movement was started before many years. Is it clear? This is all about the Chipko movement. Now we will discuss about objectives. objective questions of chapter number 9. Clear? Let us see. Tick the correct answer. And tick the correct answer, you have to find out the correct answer among these 4 answers. Okay, and I know you all are knowing the answers very well. First question, Sal, Shisham are found in which type of forest? Yes, it is deciduous forest. Sal, Shisham, these trees are found in deciduous forest. Thorn forest, as name clears, thorn forest where there will be less water, means in Rajasthan. Okay. Tidal forests are also known as mangrove forest. Which one is a wild animal? This answer you all know. Which one is the wild animal? Cow, goat, sheep, lion. Obviously, lion is a wild animal. And Chipko movement was started in Uttar Pradesh. Sorry, Uttarakhand. Okay. So this is all about the tick the correct answer. Now let's move to the second question. Which forest do the following trees belongs to? First one is rosewood and ebony. Rosewood and ebony belongs to evergreen forest, isn't it? It belongs to evergreen forest. Sandalwood and sal, it belongs to deciduous forest. Babul and kikar, thorn forest. Deodar and pine, these belongs to coniferous forest. And Sundari and Nipa, these are found in the delta region of Ganga and Brahmaputra basin. So, which type of forest are found there? Tidal forest. So, these are found in tidal forest. Clear? Now, let's move to the next question. True, false. We have to write the true, false over there. Forests are also called natural vegetation. Yes, obviously. And why these are called natural vegetation? Because trees and plants grow there naturally. Evergreen trees always look green. Yes, evergreen. As name clears, evergreen. So it looks always green. Deciduous trees shed their leaves in summer. Yes. This is also correct. The pulp of coniferous forest is used to make paper. Yes, it is also true. Pulp of coniferous forest, pulp of the trees of coniferous forest like birch. These are the trees of coniferous forest, and these trees are pulp of these trees are used to make paper. Mountain forests are also called monsoon forest. No. Which forests are known as monsoon forest? It's deciduous forest. So it will be false. Clear? Now let's move to next section. That is question answer. First question is asking, how are forests important to us? As we know that forests are important for us in many ways. They check the flood and prevent soil erosion. They attract rain. They provide shelter to a large variety of animals, birds. It provides us wood, honey, medicine, and many things, many more things. And the most important thing is that it maintains the balance between the level of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The main importance of forest is that only that it maintains the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in atmosphere. So this is all about this answer. Let's move to question number 2. Where do we find evergreen and deciduous forest in India? Evergreen forests are found in hot and wet region. In India, they are found in slopes of Western Ghats, the hills of northeastern states, and Andaman and Nicobar Island. And whereas the deciduous forests are found in the southern plateau and in the foothills of Himalayas. So this is the answer of question number 2. Question number 3. Why do the tree in the thorny forest have thorns and spines? As we know that thorns and spines save the loss of water from the leaves. That's why in desert area thorny forests are where thorny forests are found. Thorny forests are found in desert area. So in desert area there is a scarcity of water. So the thorns and spines save the loss of water from the leaves. So trees of these forests are thorns and spines. Question number 4. Why do trees in tidal forest have breathing root? The trees of tidal forest have breathing root that comes out to breathe in air because soil is deficient in air. Okay, in tidal area, in tidal forest, the trees are having breathing roots. Why they have breathing roots? To breathe. They come out in the air and to breathe because soil is marshy over there. Okay, marshy land is over there. That's why they have breathing root. Clear? Why has government set up national parks and sanctuaries? Because of deforestation, many wild animals are becoming extinct. So to save these wildlife, to save the wild animals, government has set up national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, to protect the wildlife. Next, hordes. Why are plants called Earth's lung? Plants are called as Earth's lung of Earth. Why? Because it draw in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. So it maintains the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Clear? So these plants are known as Earth's lung. This is all about this chapter. In next class we will discuss a new chapter. Till then, thank you. Bye.